So, good afternoon to all of you. As I already see, all of you are already joined. Just check what happened with this. Okay, so as all of you will know, we today going to discuss about. We're going to start a new course to learn computer programming. Like we'll be learn about C++, Python, Fortran, Mathematica, and Root. So today's class is basically an introduction class where we try to learn details about computer programming. And today is a very basic class, like it's kind of introduction between us, between you and me. So I know there are 40 students in in the SM Foundation, and all of are joining my video briefing. So So today I am going to discuss about. This class will have two part. In the first part, we will give very small introduction about what is computer. Like nowadays all of us use computer. Whenever you want to send some email, or like even in the phone also, kind of when you suppose now all of we use WhatsApp, Facebook, and all these things. So everything is kind of controlled by something. Okay, and if you think in details, so everything is basically programmed, and someone make this programming, and then we try to use this one, and everything is so simple nowadays. Like, so we will try to learn about in details about computers, how it's work. It's a very basic and standard introduction about computers. And then maybe in the next class I'll be going in details about programming, about like our main goal to learn these five, uh, basically these three is language: C++, Python, and Fortran. This is a language, and this mathematical and root is kind of tool. Whatever we will learn how to use this one, what's the purpose of this tool, and everything in details. Okay, so you can ask any question in the meantime, in between the discussion. And as I already so if you I can see if you want to ask any question, I can ask, and then we had some discussion class at the end, discussion period at the end of the class. Okay, great. So today's class is basically I am discuss about the computer, as I already told you. Because if we want to, so this knowing about the computer is not mandatory. It does not need you have to know about the computer. But if you suppose it's like this is a kind of pen, okay, and the use of this pen to write. So this two thing is there. One thing, you have to understand how, you have to know how to write. And even in mode, if you want to feel properly, like this is a pen is made by plastic, there is inside there's a refill. And so this kind of understanding, right? So it's not I'm blindly took something and write. So to write something, I can see, okay, this is pen. Okay, so this is kind of definition. I have to know, understand what is pen, then I can write. So in the same way, first we'll learn about computers, and a little bit about what is programming and all. Then we will be learn about learning details. So first 40-minute class will be about the introduction to computers and programming, and the corresponding component of the computer like hardware, software. And then I'll tell you how we in the next 10 or 20 minutes class we discuss about how we store some data in computer. Then we will be have discussion. Okay, so okay So the basic concept about computer is very well known, right? So as we know, if I ask you in what purpose you use computer, right? There is something I don't know. What is this? Okay. Maybe there are someone want to join. Let me just add them. Yeah. So we started a few minutes earlier because we wanted to introduce each other. So we already did this part, and all of us a little bit. We I am familiar with ASM Foundation, with whom I am connected with them last 2 years. So I very frequently visited there when I was in India. So and I really like their environment, and the kids, they are naughty but they're very talented kids are there. So this class is basically for the kids. uh, okay, I think someone is also joining. Hello, can Subhadeep, can you hear me? I think if I see someone is joining more. Hello, can you hear me, Fiza Sayed? If I'm not pronounced your name wrongly, can you say something? Uh, so I guess you can see my screen, right? So can any one of you answer? Then we can continue. In the SM Foundation already there are more than 40 students who are actually, this class is online briefing through the SM Foundation. So for them, I had one interaction class in separately. But any one of you, like I see Subhadeep and Fiza, they are joined. Okay, okay. Manish. Okay, so this class is basically a very introductory. Today's class is basically a very introductory class about programming and computers. And this class is arranged basically for SM Foundation student. And last few years, I was in contact with them, and they are so kind, and the students are a little bit naughty, and they're really very talented students there. So this today's class is really a very introductory class, and I hope at the meantime we will discuss about in details about these three programming language like C++, Python, and Fortran. And then also we will discuss about another tool like Mathematica and Root. So this is a very important tool for who are wanted to work in like in analysis work, or in the modern advanced technology in different field. So this is a very important tool basically for graphics. Okay, so these two tools are very important. Like for me, when I am working in my own work, so I also use these two mathematical tool nowadays. And these three are the main programming language we are planning to learn in next few classes. But today's class is completely introductory class. Okay. So, as we already started the discussion about computers and programming, so if I asked you in what purpose you use computer, like in nowadays, even in this class, when I taking the class via Zoom, so this class also I use using laptop or computer. So you can understand nowadays everything now because of this pandemic, basically everything is become online. And so it's really very important nowadays to learn about computer, to work with computer, and you have to master on it. Like, yeah, like when someone use some nowadays when someone use some smartphone, right? So in smartphone we can open any app, Okay, and we can use this app. So now I will tell you how this any kind of app is working, or how you can be masters. Ah, someone is wanted to join. Okay. Or how you can be masters on the computer. Okay, let me admit. Ah, hello, someone is just recently joined. Can you just say something? Can you hear me? Okay, maybe I don't understand. Is it really I'm visible to them or not? Because I know the SM Foundation, they already told me they can hear and they can also see my screen. Okay, so the about the computers, if we want to think, so what is a different purpose in which we use computer? So if you are a student, like the students of Asian Foundation, so this is actually the students of Asian Foundation who are this picture is taken from them. So they are now they are kid, so they sometimes maybe play a game or they read something using computer. Or being a research student, when I am using computer, I basically use computer to uh, read some article, or to send some email, or nowadays, or I take sometimes online classes, and you are attending online classes using laptop or computer. Or someone, when someone is working, like someone is in some business or in some experiment, so they use computer for data analysis. Or sometimes we have to present, like this is a presentation I'm showing you using the computer. So nowadays everything in the world is become online. So you have to understand computer is really very interesting and very important for our future generation. So you have to learn computer, you have to learn programming. So programming is really important for our future generation. Without computer, we can go ahead. So we have to learn. We have to be masters on programming. So then at least you can be one of the. So see, something like whenever you use some app, it's like you're random, you are blindly use the app. You don't know what is inside, right? Now, if I give you an example of Facebook, I think everyone using Facebook nowadays. So we don't know how this Facebook work. There are some software developer who write this code, who construct this app called Facebook, but we don't know how it's work. So, but it will be really fun if you can also construct that kind of app. Maybe not Facebook. So this is because Facebook is a really complicated app. So maybe not Facebook, or maybe not something like, maybe not WhatsApp, but something like that. So then you can feel how this Facebook is really working. Or if you want to communicate with someone, right? Right, nowadays whenever I am basically write some email to someone, then I don't manually open Google. So I had a few kind of code where I can open Google using the code. Then I can search my email. Then I can send some email. So this is actually, I also try to teach you how I use this kind of code to instead of manually use Google or this kind of app, I can use all this app using some coding. So this make my life so simple. So you have to, so whenever you try to feel something, then you have to drive on it, right? And nowadays, without programming, the world will be blind completely. So you have to learn computer, you have to learn programming. This is the main important thing where we arrange this class, and that's why we are the contacting with SM Foundation for this class. So our basic motivation of this class to learn computer programming, which you can be master, and you can be developed your own idea, and you can be implement those idea. So for that, so this is a final goal. So we want to learn the world, how it's everything is working. Nowadays, everything is based on computer programming. So you have to learn. There is no other option. You have to be master on it. So our basic goal of this class is to learn three computer programming, like programming language basically, C++, Python, and Fortran. This is a very standard programming language. If you have to learn the basic of these three program, you can learn any kind of programming language, whatever is available. And these two are the basically some tool, whatever I use basically nowadays for my experimental work or for my research work. But apart from that, these three are the very basic and standard programming language. What I am going to teach you in next few classes in the complete course. Is it clear? Is there any doubt in now why we arrange this class, right? So because the world is became everything online, so you have to learn programming. There is no other option. You have to you have to be masters in programming. Okay, so more some details about programming language, like sometimes we use do so many job, like whenever someone use when I try to use this try to construct this uh, presentation, I basically use latex. This is one kind of software, you can say, or one kind of tool which we used to make this presentation. Or someone, you nowadays everyone is familiar with Photoshop, right? So Photoshop is also very important tool someone can use or someone can learn how it's work. So this is very important, right? So nowadays, yeah, someone want to say something. Hello, okay. Anyone want to say anything? No, maybe. Okay. So you have to understand the world is became everything is developed, everything is going to be dependent on programming. So it will be the best time to learn it, and you have to be understand each and everything step by step. Programming is very easy if you learn it. Otherwise, it will be very complicated. So our main goal to teach you how to use computer. I think everyone nowadays know how to use computer. So this is a stupid statement. But our main goal to teach you how to write program and how to be masters on it. Okay. And also, sometimes we use computer for many different purpose. Sometimes we use computer just to send one email. So for that, you don't need to know about programming. So programming is important when you want to tell your laptop or your computer to do that, do this, do that. So then your computer will be listen to you, and it will be work exactly how you want. So computer is it's have no brain. It can decide what to do, but it can just it's kind of robot. Robot. Robot is kind of machine. You have no brain, but whatever the program you will be put in the robot, it will be exactly behave like that. So someone can someone, I think someone's mic is on. Can you switch to turn it off? Please turn off it. Oh, thanks. Okay. So if you want, suppose I can show you one small programming, like suppose I want, so I will discuss later in details what all this mean. So suppose I write something in my laptop, in my text file. I will discuss in details what is this. So I want to print out a line or statement like, welcome to all of you in today's introductory class about the computer and programming. So I had few lines of code. We call it code. I will be explaining in detail everything. So we call it code. So there are few lines. Okay, so this is kind of information. This information I'm going to give my laptop. Okay, let's see how it's work. So this is the thing I want to print. I will just, let me just clear everything. Don't worry, I will discuss everything few times later. Like, I had one kind of, we call it script, where I just simply write welcome to all of you in our today's introductory class about the computer programming. So this is the information I give the laptop or my computer. Keep whatever thing is written in between this code in the yellow line, just simply pin this line. Okay, and what my laptop did, it basically ran this program. I will again explain what is mean by running a program. And it's show me welcome to all of you. I think I can make it more showing. So it's like welcome to all of you in our today's introductory class about the computer programming. So okay, this is not which one it was. Okay, this one. So like here, I can give one example. Like this is very simple code. Okay, where I can write to print hello world. So this is kind of very small introduction, very small information. I want to I want to print in my laptop. So if I run this code, it's very simple code. Then at the end of when this will be run, then it will be show something hello world. So it's basically, so programming is nothing but you give some information to the laptop, then laptop will work it by self. Okay, and then it will show some output. So now we have to learn. So maybe if you are not familiar with programming, like the student of SM Foundation, so they are not familiar with programming. So for them, they maybe think, what is this? What the hell is this? Oh, what something is written there? Don't worry. This is my job to teach you each and everything what is written here and what is meant, how it's work. Okay. So this is and our class is for that only. So, so programs are commonly referred to as software. So, like you heard about many software, like uh, everything is nowadays software, like WhatsApp, Facebook, and all these things. We call this app because it's something different, whatever we use. But that was nothing but kind of software. Okay, so programs are commonly referred to as software, and software is essential to a computer because it controls everything the computer does. As I said, computer does not have its own brain. Whatever you will tell to your computer will be do exactly that. Like here, I told my computer just simply print "Hello World," and my computer will do exactly this. I can show you how it's work. Like suppose here in my script, instead of this one, I simply like write "Hello World." Don't worry, I will explain everything in details later. I save it, then I will run this one. So it's, so whatever the program name you call class program, because I'm going to teach you programming. So I keep the name of this program a class program, and I print this one, and it print hello world. So this is very simple thing. I think all of you know. That's why I'm not going in details. But my basic work to teach you how this is working. Okay, and so whatever the thing I'll be going to tell my laptop or computer, it will work exactly like that. And now you have to learn how I can give instruction to my laptop or to my computer. So we are going to learn how we can construct some software which can control my laptop or computer. And if you are able to learn this one, then you can be you can be the masters of your laptop. Like when someone trains some dogs or their pet, then what they did, they basically first try to teach the dog how, if they say stand up, then dog will be stand up, sit down. So this thing kind of instruction the trainer gave, and accordingly this dog will be work. Okay, then so after a few days, When you will learn how the programming is working, how the computer is working, then you will be that master who can control your laptop or your computer. So our main goal or main idea about this class to teach you how you can be the masters of your laptop or your computer. And nowadays, if you know the programming had so versatile application throughout the whole world in different purpose. Like if I want to do some job, you have to learn computer or programming. If you want to analysis, if you want to go some experiment, or if you're going to do some PhD research, so for every purpose you have to learn programming. Or if you want to do some job, then you have to learn programming. Any one of the programming language you have to know, because our world is changing nowadays. So you have to know how to be masters of your laptop, what or your computer. Whatever the information you want to give, your computer will exactly work like that. So you have to know, you have to be train yourself how you can be masters of your program, of your laptop, of your computer. So this is the basic goal of this class, to teach you how you can be masters. Okay, so now going to, before to learn about the programming, or before to learn about the softwares, how we construct, how we can be masters. First, let's try to learn or know about computer, how computer is working, what is the computer. I'm not going in the history because nowadays all of you know about computer. So this is not something new to you, but just to understand it completely, then let first see in few details about computer. Like, because whenever you'll be working on something, like if you want to write something, like I am writing with the pen, so before to write that, you have to, it's like either you can be blind, if you can close your eyes and you can take something, you can write. Or better, okay, first see, this is pen, I know this is pen, and I can write with this pen. Okay, so this is kind of complete understanding. So before to going to learn about computer, learn about programming, let's first try to learn something about computer. This is not necessary at all to learn programming. Programming is completely different thing, and to learning about the computer is different thing. So this part of the class, today's class, is completely introductory. I am going to teach you, not teach you, that's not a good word. I am going to tell you what is computer and what is programming. Okay, so the computer had the two basic, so computer basically working in two different field. Computer had some hardware and it also has some software. What is mean by hardware? Like if I go in the next slide, so as you all of you know computer, right? And so computer is kind of physical device, and it is made of two things called software and hardware. Software means, like if you see, this is a kind of, though nowadays we don't use this kind of computer, but it's computer, it is consists of so many things, like it has some monitor, keyboard, mouse, so all this hardware thing. So this is one part. This is one part of computer. So which we are not at all interested. So this is there. We know computer is consist of some hardware, but we are basically interested in this part about the software part, because I am not an engineer at all. So if you are engineer, then for you this part will be interesting. But our class is not for this part. Our class is basically for software part. So we have to, we wanted to learn about the software or software part of the computer. But let's first try to know something about the hardware also, because learning is kind of, it should be complete. Like, so now first we try to learn something about the hardware, then we go back to our main motivation of the class, to learn about the software. Okay, so I wrote so many lines, so many things here, which I'm not going to read everything. So this is basically a complete tutorial for you. You can read it later, but I am going to give you the basic idea overall. And I wrote this presentation in such a way that you can be read independently whenever you want, and you can learn it by yourself. So our main motivation to teach you in such a way that you can learn programming by yourself. You don't need someone, some expert. I'm not expert at all. I'm also learned by myself. So hardware is, so now we're talking about the hardware of the software, because in this part, like in this part, because it's really good to know, like it's always good to know about the hardware part. Okay. But hardware is basically consists of five important things, which we are going to discuss in next few slides. Something like called the central processing unit. It's called CPU. This is a main important part hardware of the computer. Then we will discuss about the main memory, how we store the data in the memory. Then we discuss the secondary storage device. So every computer has two kind of device, storage system. One is called the main memory, other is called the secondary storage device. Then we discuss something about the input and output of the computer. Okay, so the most important thing about computer is called CPU. It's called the central processing unit. So nowadays our technology is so advanced, it actually changed the whole world. So earlier you can see this is kind of a CPU. It's called central processing unit, which was developed in 1945 in that time, which was actually held for to help the US military army for some to get some to calculate some arbitrary ballistic tables, whatever the army used. And for that, so this is one of the CPU which was used is called ENAC. I think the full form is called electronic num for electronic numerical integer and computer. So this is one of the in a CPU of the ENAC computer, which was built in 1945, and it was a huge. You can see this is throughout the whole room and all. So it is kind of 8 feet tall and 100 feet long, and it's a very heavy CPU. So earlier the computer when it was started, the if I don't want to go in the history because all of you know, or you can just simply Google it, you can find it. But the main important thing which I want to tell you, our technology is going advanced day by day. So if you want to familiar with the technology, then you have to learn programming. And that's why our today's class is about the computer programming. And also you can see this is a nowadays how we use CPU in the computer. So earlier it was just so big and like oh, so many things is there. And now everything is boils down to a small chip, or it's called microprocessor. So our technology throughout the whole world is moving so fast, and it's change everything. Whatever you are seeing today, maybe tomorrow everything will be changed. So you have to be advanced, and you have to be learn programming, because that's important. Okay, then so the main important part about the computer is called CPU. Okay, and this actually control everything of your computer. The second thing about the main memory. So you can think of the main memory as a computer work area. Suppose whenever I can show you, I can go back. Or so if I go like here, so like if I go my home directory, right? So this is I using my. Can anyone see me? Can you see my screen properly?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So see here, this is kind of just this is not a memory actually, but I just want to show how we store the data or information. So you can just simply see. So in my own system, in my own laptop which I'm working with, so there are a lot of things which I can store in some places. Okay. So in the same way, whenever we are working with computers, or we are working with, suppose like right now I am working in, it's called CERN. It's one of the experiment in Europe, where they suppose collide particle, they produce particle. Okay. So we produce particles, and then a lot of information is generated, and all the information is stored in some places. So in the same way, so whatever the information we had, then we need to store in some places. In the same way, computer also had some storage system. So the main memory, you can think of the main memory as a computer work area, in which area you want to work. So all I am doing something, I'm writing some code, I am maybe download some videos, download some PDF. So everything is needs some place to store. Okay, and we know, all of you know, there is two system called RAM. It's called random access memory. So whenever you are working, then everything is stored there. Random RAM is a stored in nowadays chips, and so this is kind of figure you can see where we can store the information. Okay. The second thing about the secondary storage device. So this RAM is the inbuilt in your computer. So whenever you are working, then whatever the information you want to store, you basically store in RAM. So this is very standard definition. I am not going in the bookkeeping definition. You can just simply search in Google what is RAM, what is all these things. So that is not my main aim for this class. So this is kind of vocabulary I am going to tell you. Okay. The second thing about the secondary storage device. Nowadays, we are all familiar with like pen drive. Okay, so suppose I want to store some information from my laptop to some other device which I can use for any other purpose. So then we can use some external disk. Like here's a lot of external disk is available nowadays, like floppy disks, pen drive or flash drive. We sometimes use CD, it's called compact disc. So this is kind of all external disks we can use for we can use as a secondary storage device. And also there are a lot of information about the secondary storage device which you can just simply read. There's no important information because we are not interested about. Okay, someone is want to join. So because we are not interested about the hardware, our main concern or main interest for the software. So, but it's good to know all this, or good to keep, or it is good to keep a very good memory in your mind, or the information in your memory. What is the computer? Okay. And the second thing, last and another thing is about the input and output device. So sometimes we use like keyboards to type. We use mouse, we use microphone. So this is kind of thing whatever using. This is called the input device, where the computer get the signal from outside, and then or after doing the work, suppose we want to store some information like the CD. This is kind of your external device or output device. So this is something bookkeeping what you can just simply read because we are not bothered about the hardware part of the computer. But now this is our interest to know about the software, because we are interested about the programming or the software part of the computer. So as I already told you, if your computer is working, that means there are some software. Without software, your computer can't work or it can't function at all. So everything that computer does, from time you turn off your computer to the time when you shut down your computer, everything is controlled by the software. So you have to really understand how your laptop is working, how your computer is working, and everything is working by the software. Hardware is already built, someone is built on your computer. So it is not a big deal to know about the hardware, okay, because it is already inbuilt in your computer system. But it is very important to learn how your computer is working. So you have to always keep in mind, whenever your computer is working, that means the software is operational, software is working. So software is actually control your system, because hardware is already built in your computer, which I am not interested, because and this class is also not for the hardware. We have to learn and we have to understand how the software of your computer or your desktop is working. So that is very important to learn, and that's why we arrange this class. And mostly in computer, in software system, there are two important category. One is called system software, the application software. System software is, again I am not interested about the system software because it is already involved inbuilt, but you need it. You have to learn the system software because that programming, the system software is basically the programs that control and manage the basic operation of a computer. That basically refer as system software. So if you suppose, like right now I am using one system software is called Linux, or suppose if I show you, uh, so this is the skin whatever you are seeing right now. So this is the skin for the Linux. Okay, so in Linux everything, so there are basically few kind of operating system which we are going to discuss. Oh, where I'm lost. Okay, like sometimes we use Windows. Few of you are already familiar with Windows. Few of you are familiar with Linux or MacBook operating system. Mac also had their own operating system. So so this is kind of in there are three kind of three or two. There are two kind of basically system software, which is called utility programs and software development tools. I'll be discussed later in few slides. The another thing about called application software. The program that make a computer useful for everyday tasks as known as application software. Like if I give one example, like not from the computer's purpose, like we all familiar with apps like WhatsApp, Facebook. So this is kind of so trendy right now. So we know about all the apps, and even in computer also there are some application software like Microsoft Word. All of you are familiar with Microsoft Word, where we sometimes make some presentation or we make some note or we make create some PDF. So this is a kind of application software for laptop or computer. Or nowadays it is very familiar about the Photoshop. Like this is also one of the application software which is used for computer. So this is kind of another purpose of your laptop or your computer. So again, I am not interested in this class basically about the application software. We are interested to learn programming to control your system. Okay, so I am interested in the software, but not exactly in this purpose. So we have to learn how you can control this, your laptop or your system, not by the application. Okay, now in the system software, as I discussed, there are two kind of software is there. One is application software, which we are not interested, but we are interested about the system software. Now there are three kind of system software. One is called operating system, like as I already discussed, like Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. So this is kind of operating system which you can use for the to control your system or control your laptop or computer. So an operating system is the most fundamental set of programs on a computer. An operating system control the internal operation of the computer hardware. So as I already discussed in the hardware section when I discussed here, so like we had five set of hardware, important hardware like CPU, main memory, secondary storage, input device, output device. So whatever with the this hardware system is there in your laptop or your computer, everything actually controlled by the operating system, and that is the most fundamental programs which you have in your computer. And the operating system control the internal operation of the computer hardware, manage all the device connected to the computer, and allows data to saved, and also you can take the information from the storage system. And now the very three basic familiar and famous operating system is Windows, Mac, and Linux. I am using Linux, or sometimes I also use Windows. So I'm familiar with both Linux and Windows, but I had no idea about Mac. I never used, so I have no idea about Mac. And there is another kind of system software called utility program. A utility program performs specialized tasks, enhance the computer operation, or to make it safeguard data. Like we sometimes we maybe heard about your laptop is hanged, or some there are some virus. Sometimes we use some virus scanner. So this is kind of called utility program or utility software to save your data or to save your system or laptop. And the third thing about the software development tool. So software development tools are the program that programmers use. So this is our actual field, what we are interested. So okay, these two things is fine. We have to know how Windows is work. We have to know how Linux is work. As already I know the student from SM Foundation, they all of already install Linux in their system because we already discussed with them. So they already install Linux in their Linux operating system. So this part is not interested right now with this. Okay, but now this is our field. This is a software development tools, whatever we want to learn. And I try to make you understand how you can construct some software or you can write some code where you can control your own operating system. So software development tools are the program that programmers use to create, modify, and test. They are basically three part of the programming. So when someone writes some software in so many software, there is now everything is really so become famous about the software. So there are a lot of software is available now in the market. But there are three kind of part of the software. First, someone write the software, which is called software developer. Then someone is going to modify, and someone is test the software. Nowadays, there is one website called GitHub. So GitHub is very famous for who are interested about the software development. So GitHub is actually GitHub or GitLab. So this thing is actually construct or created because who are interested about the software development. And also the software development tools, which is composed by compilers, interpreter. So suppose I can give one example. Suppose whenever I use one simple text editor to write, I wrote a code, simple code like hello world, as I already told you, and then I need to run this one. So we need some compiler. So whenever you are construct or write some software and you want to use the software to give some information to a laptop or computer, to do that, I want you should print hello world. So this what we need, right? So this thing is basically done by the interpreter. So you wrote some code like here, the simple skip. I will. So this is my job to teach you, not teach you, maybe to told you to how each and everything whatever written here. So you have to understand this, and then you run this code and you get some output. So this is kind of tools we need for software. So I will uh, give you in details later. Okay, so this is what we learned till now. So this is kind of a small homework for student of SM Foundation, whatever we discussed in now. So if you have, you can read, I will send the PDF to you. You can read the first few slides or few things. So this is, I wrote the slide in such a way that you can read at any time and you can understand. I try to write it as simple language as possible. So this is a homework for you, which I'll be check in the next classes. Fine. So the second thing, so you can get a flavor how or what is computer and what is programming. So the once again, the main important thing you have to keep in your mind. The main purpose of this class is to learn or is to be masters how you can control your computer or your software or your laptop, MacBook, whatever you are using. because computer is just a machine. It does not have any brain, but you have. So you can control your computer. Okay, so this is our main goal to to understand how we can control our system. Okay, now in maybe I can take 5 minute break, and after the 5 minute break will be the next part of this class is how computers store data, because that's an important thing. The main purpose of this computer is actually store data. Why it started, when this, according to history, when computer is build. So there was a huge thing like CPU, the big CPU, as I already shown you in this slide. The CPU, whatever they use, like a huge system. So all the main purpose of this computer was to store some information or to make some very simple calculation. That was the main purpose. But now you know that technology is so advanced, we forget our basic goal of to construct a computer. The basic goal was to just to store some data or just to calculate something like some number and all. So we completely forgot our basic goal, and now we use our computer in so many versatile field. What I already discussed in few slides, we use our computers in so many versatile field. That means our technology is developed nowadays. So you have to be understand, and you have to be become masters, and you have to be control your system. Whenever you will learn to control your system, then it's like you are more advanced than computer, because computer don't have brain. Human body, we are all human, and we had brain. So we can learn, we can we can give the information to my laptop or my desktop or my whatever the system you use. You should give the information, and your computer should work according to your information, according to your requirement. So we have to train our system. Then whenever we learn how to train our system, then we will be finally achieve something. Okay. Maybe I was planning to not going details about, so this part I discuss in next class. Okay. So better to just summarize for today. I'm not going. I'll teach you in the next class about the storing information, how we store information in computer. So in the next class, I'll be teach you how we store data in computer. Like we can store number, we can store some character like A, B, C, D, whatever you want. Now we have to understand how we store. So there is no connection between knowing this and doing programming. But it will be better if you know it. If you know the information, then it will be always a good picture in your mind, because okay, I know how my computer is working. So then I can control my computer. I can give my information to my I can give information to my computer, and my computer will work according to that. So it is always better to know. But it does not matter if you know, if you don't know the basic thing. It doesn't matter, you don't know you can't do programming. You can do programming, but it will be always good if you had a clear picture in your mind. Okay, this is my computer, there are some hardware, there is some software, fine. We are not interested in hardware, just skip it away. Now we are interested in software. Okay, now in software, again we are not interested in other part of software, we are interested in software development tools. Fine, let's concentrate on this. Now we have to understand how, when I use a software, how the number is stored in the computer. So that what I am going to teach you in the next class, how number or any character is stored in computer. Then finally I will teach you how program works, how we can write the code, how we can compile the code, how we can get some output. Okay. Then then uh, fir- in the uh, first I am planning, though our main idea of this class to teach you in this program, in this course, this five, not five, this C programming language, but we will start with Python. So every Saturday we will teach you Python, and Sunday we will teach you C++. So when these two will be done, then we will go to the other 3 points, because this is something else. So first we try to learn C++ and Python. Uh, Kind of first in Saturday we will learn Python, and Sunday we will learn C++. Okay. So then I will teach you how to install Python, then how to write code, some basic standard code in Python, and then how we can run. And then on Sunday class, I will be discuss about C++. Okay, now this is our final. So when this course will be end, so this will be our final project. I will expect all the students from SM Foundation, they should submit this project at the end of this course, and this project will be something like that. So we have to learn how to write a code after all this complicated thing, like we have to learn C++, we have to learn Python, so or we have to learn Fortran. When this part will be done, when we will learn this one, then the final code you have to write, I will be help you how to write a code to open a Google search. Like suppose right now, what I can do, I can go here by manually, I can go Google search, then I can search for Gmail. Okay, then I can click on Gmail. So then Gmail will be open all these things. So everything I am doing manually right now. But where is this one? This one. But finally, at the end of this course, you have to write a code in such a way that you can open Google, then you can search Gmail there, you can log in into Gmail or your email, whatever you are use. Then you have to write a email to a specific person using code, not in manually. So this will be our final project. What at the end of this class, we will be trying to learn how this is work, and this will be your main assessment for this class. Okay. So thank you so much for joining with us, and maybe after half an hour we will have discussion session with student of SM Foundation, what I am teaching right now. So because we can't communicate with 40 students at once, so we plan first we have the presentation, I will teach, then we will contact and we will discuss. But if any one of you who are joining from outside do you have any question or any comment or anything you want to make, or is this class is really helpful, like maybe some of you already advanced in programming, so you can give me some suggestion how we should teach student for this C plus for this programming courses. Anyone have any suggestion or any question? Because it is basically very introductory class, so maybe there is no question from your side, but you can suggest me if you want anything to suggest. Okay, great. So if there is no suggestion from any one of you, then we will meet on next Saturday. And as I already discussed, what we are going to teach you in the next Saturday class. So this is the plan for our next classes. So which I am going to teach you in the next class. So, so anyone want to make any comment or any question anyone? Okay. If no, then thank you very much for joining with us. And very soon we will be in contact with student of SM Foundation, and we'll be have a discussion session with them.